Now, the first Honda Accord hybrid for $6,000 more than a four-cylinder Accord, you picked up one highway MPG. Now they're back with both a hybrid and what we've got here today, the plug-in hybrid.
Bottom line, the numbers now make sense in a big way.
Now, first of all, Accord plug-ins are all sedans. This technology doesn't come on the coupe. Spotting one of these isn't too hard. It's got arguably the best-looking body of any Accord in terms of the body kit, very aggressive front chin. This blue-tinted headlight lens isn't just for looks. It also calls your attention to standard LED headlights. And overall, it's got a nice, massive, almost Acura look. It all goes to hell at the wheels, though. Those are actually Marie Callender's pipe hands. Well, not really, but they may as well be, because they rattle like them and they're actual wheel covers that look like hell. Which isn't just cheap, it's an insult because behind there are actual alloy wheels. I assume these are there for aerodynamics, but really? The trunk is rather highly compromised. This is where the extra capacity battery lives. It cuts the trunk storage by 45% over even a hybrid Accord, let alone a standard one. So that's a big intrusion. Kind of unforgivable in a big car that is meant to carry four in comfort, but obviously not all four of their luggage is going to fit here. Now, under the hood, the plug-in hybrid doesn't present that much differently than a regular hybrid. Start off with a lean burn, 2-liter, 4-cylinder inline-4 sitting here, side saddle, coupled to an electric motor and going out to front-wheel drive only via a CVT transmission.
Total gas engine power is 141 horse, with another 55 coming from the electric motor.
The vehicle's kind of chunky, 3,800 pounds. That's 200 more than a standard Accord hybrid, and almost 600 more than a standard Accord 4-cylinder without any hybrid. So this is way up on the scales. But it all comes out in the wash. 4746 is your MPG rating, and most people are reporting getting closer to 50 real world. 115 MPGE, which is the electric mode miles per gallon equivalent. So this guy is really stellar in terms of efficiency. That's saying something for a car that is big and weighs quite a bit. These gauges alongside the speedometer are unique to this vehicle. On the upper right, you've got your battery charge level. Lower right, your fuel level. On the left, you've got your swing gauge, if you will. Shows if you're using power or using momentum to recharge the battery. And then you've got a whole variety of instruments in the middle of the speedometer. The one that I find the most useful by far is this little momentum gauge. Leave that one turned on. It will coach you to gradually accelerate and brake, which will do as much for any car's economy as electrification sometimes. There's your rear cam, and of course, you've got trajectory and distance. If you hit this button here, you're also going to change to a downward cam, which is nice for the last few inches. And then when you go into either a right turn or hit the button on the stalk over here, you get the camera on the right mirror activated that looks back down the car and gives you distance markings. Now, regardless of what you're using in this car, the interface is this two-screen deal. You got the big non-touch setback, and you've got a smaller touch screen up here. That doesn't necessarily make it a success. You can end up with disasters like this, where you pull up FM radio and get not just two representations of your presets, but two representations that don't even sync up. That one's showing presets 8 through 11 by default. This one's showing 7 through 12. I can scroll this one to get a different slice of my presets, but it doesn't follow over here. It's a complete mess. Then on the navigation side, you can get to these kind of moments where you're entering an address and you get not one, but two keyboards, and they are a different interface. And then, even though you've got this giant screen up here in the dash, they sure don't use the real estate very well. Notice how my tags coming off the RDS portion of an FM broadcast are horribly truncated. I can't even tell what that says, and I've been staring at it for minutes. Yet they did spend time using a whole bunch of lower real estate to give us what's basically an analog band tuner, which is completely useless. Now, onto the audio system. Just about every source you want is in there. You have optical discs still. This car hasn't shed that yet. Pandora and Aha, I'll talk about that in a minute.
Oddly, for a high-trim car, the Accord plug-in is missing HD radio, even though some siblings like the Odyssey have it.
iPod hooks up and does a very nice job of showing up. You've also got song by voice on this car, so you can literally call out the name of a track or an artist that's on your iPod, and it'll go fetch it.
Play Moon Buggy Ride.
Playing Moon Buggy Ride 2003 Digital Remaster.
Using the Honda Link app, you can bring up all of AHA's services, which largely form the backbone of this car's interesting interactive features. You'll also then get telematics functions via that same app, including remote battery state, charge on demand and charge programming, range to dead shown on the phone, and locate charging stations. Now, the plug-in Accord oddly shares a lot of approach with the Chevy Volt, though not any parts. Let's break it down. First, there's EV mode. The electric motor does all the driving. The gas engine's out of the picture. It's actually freewheeling to kill friction. This mode will cover up to 13 miles worth of start and stop driving and lower speed work. Then there's hybrid mode. Here, the electric motor is still doing all the work, but the gas engine is kicked in to run a generator to create more juice on the fly. So you are using a hybrid of power plants, but only a single traction source, and that is electric. This mode kicks in for at-speed acceleration or frequent speed change driving. Then there's engine mode. Here, the gas engine does all the work and the electric motor goes to sleep, and the gas engine is basically running in a very efficient high gear mode, typically for cruising. And then there's hybrid charge mode. Lean on the hybrid button for a couple of seconds, and the vehicle is told to operate as a hybrid, but with the main goal of recharging the battery ASAP so you can get back to EV mode sooner. Now, a full plug-in charge takes 1 hour on 240 volts, level 2, or 3 hours on a typical household outlet. As you can see on the screen there, you got some great MPG numbers from some of our recent tests and recent loops. This car really delivers serious mileage. The ride quality is very good. Electric cars tend to be because they've got that nice planting weight of the battery. And although you can't really tell right now because I've got the window open, it's very quiet inside. One problem with that quiet, it's shattered by this piercing whine that comes from somewhere behind the speedometer when you step on it. It's some kind of an electric transition going on there. I don't know exactly where it's coming from, maybe from the inverter, but wow, it's annoying as all get out. Okay, pricing a 2014 Accord plug-in hybrid is pretty simple. Everything I've shown you is included, $40,006, but that's before a federal tax credit of $3,626. Well, it's not the big $7,500 credit you've heard about because this car does not have as large a battery as the feds want to see, nor does it run as pure electric as, let's say, a Chevy Volt does, so you don't get the full credit. So all in, you're looking at something around $37,000. If you're in California, you can qualify for another $1,500. Again, not the full $2,500 that state would often award more electrified owners. The EPA figures the average 15,000-mile-a-year driver will save about $1,250 a year in fuel costs with the plug-in compared to an Accord V6, which is the most comparable. Now, there's about a $4,000 price delta after federal tax credit, meaning it would take you a little over 3 years for the plug-in tech to pay for itself if you're an average driver. But that's before any state credits you may get, but also assuming you're going to take regular advantage of full plug-in charges. As with any car with advanced energy tech, it's a numbers game. But regardless how those pencil out, Honda has absolved itself here of the old Accord hybrid, with a new car that goes a long way to restore their reputation for doing green right.